I have literally been waiting to be able to launch this for quite some time now. I've actually been doing lots of treatments already, but for those of you who don't know, I'm going to be co-hosting this evening with Hayley. Hayley is the head of sales and marketing at Lynton Lasers, and she is also the queen of Zoom, so which is why I really need her help tonight. So we're just going to wait a few more minutes just to see who else is coming in. We had a few tech issues this evening, which is why we're a few minutes late. I don't want to touch my screen because I'm worried my whole presentation is going to disappear. So I'm letting Hayley do all the stuff behind the scenes.
Yeah,
so,
I'm queen of many things, Kerry, but I'm not sure Zoom is one of them.
You are apparently known as the queen of Zoom and aesthetics as well. So it's exactly what I need for tonight. Right. So for those of you participating tonight, you don't have to have your videos on if you don't want to, but always nice to see friendly faces. But basically the format tonight is I'm going to be taking you through exactly what the focus jewel is. So I have the machine here with me. Although you can't quite see it, so I have a plug either for my laptop or this because this is all on the other side of the room. But basically we have two different technologies which I'm going to be talking to you about this evening and what they can do for your skin. So if you want to really amazingly rejuvenate your skin in 2022, now is the time to be able to do it, and that's exactly what I'm going to be going through this evening. Also talking about how the technology works, what kind of results you can expect from the treatment, and then I have some amazing packages at the end, which is basically on the night only offers. So how are we doing, Hayley? How many people have we got so far?
Yeah, we're good. We're okay. I think you're good to start. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Right. So welcome everybody. The long-awaited Focus Dual launch. It had a couple of hiccups because of COVID, but we are finally launching it officially, even though it's been in clinic for, well, since September actually. So we have, and I know a few of you have jumped on tonight as well, who've already been having treatments, who actually want to have a few more. So do feel free to pop any questions in the chat. Hayley's going to be monitoring that for me. And without further ado, I'm going to go straight in. So she says, so that is the machine, which is actually behind me. And as you can see, it's got two hand pieces. And this is what really we're going to be talking about this evening is the HIFU, which is high intensity focused ultrasound with radio frequency microneedling. And what we're going to be talking about is how we can lift, firm and tighten. And I know Hayley is a massive fan of HIFU.
I am indeed.
My down arrows are working now, so there you go. So these are the two pieces. They work in combination, or you can have treatments on their own. And the beauty of this machine is depending on what it is you want to address, whether it's, dark circles under the eyes, whether it's lifting and tightening the jawline, whether it's sort of a crepey neck. Between these two little superpower tools, we can basically address all of those concerns. So really, we can improve skin quality at every layer, can't we, Hayley? So we're able to both really sort of contract that collagen and in the dermis, stimulate collagen in the dermis, and those fibroblasts that actually generate collagen, which is basically what is most people's concerns, isn't it? It's about the sort of the lack of collagen, the laxity around the jawline as well, isn't it?
Do you know what? It's different for different people, but nobody ever said if you can rejuvenate it all, don't just do one part of it. So yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so I think you know, I personally, you know, I'm 49 this year. I went through the menopause early, and I'm actually 4 years the other side of the menopause. And as we know with our skin, you know, with hormonal changes, and especially that sort of time in our lives, you know, our skin really changes. And my skin since the age of 43 has really changed. Interestingly, though, I knew we started losing collagen in our 20s, but I didn't actually realize is it from 22, Hayley, the age of 22, you start losing collagen?
It's a steady decline, Kerry, and none of it's good.
But we have HIFU now, so
I think it, you know, I do think it, I don't think there's a set time age, you know, I think it varies from person to person. Obviously, lifestyle factors do have an influence as well. So the sooner the better, really, you can do in terms of regenerating and stimulating and boosting, then the better it is, really.
Yeah, because the thing is with this machine, and I've been treating since September, I've been treating ladies of all ages, from like late 20s, late 30s as well, and 40s and into 50s as well. And so the great thing is that if you already are starting to get sort of, you know, sort of laxity around the jawline, or you're getting bags, you know, sort of under the eyes, then this can help with all of that. But equally, if you want to preemptively, you know, I always think, oh, you know, people in their 20s now really are so lucky, because the tech that's around now to make sure that, you know, their skin stays in tip-top condition, it just wasn't around when I was in my 20s. So yeah, so basically we can really improve skin every layer. And what this slide is showing is just basically the different layers of the skin and how we can approach that. So we literally have a cartridge, which is what is attached to this handpiece, and depending on the sort of the type of cartridge that's attached, dictates what layers of the skin that we can really go down to. And I think what's different about HIFU compared to every other treatment out there is that with one particular cartridge, which is the 4.5, we really are targeting what we call the SMAS layer. And as some of you may know, you know, people who do end up going for sort of surgery, the lifting and tightening, surgeons literally work with that SMAS layer right at the bottom of the layers of the skin to lift and tighten. So the fact we can get down that deep is why this treatment is so different, and why you can expect to get such amazing results. So, as I said before, we've got two technologies. We've got high-intensity focused ultrasound and RF microneedling. Okay, so we are fractionally treating the skin by putting tiny little needles into the skin to generate that collagenesis. So really, we can do either or we can combine. And I think combination treatments work fantastically. You know, when you can lift and tighten the jawline, and also do sort of eye treatments with HIFU around the eyes, RF, you know, sort of radio frequency microneedling around the eyes here. You know, we've seen some fantastic results, haven't we, Hayley? Some people have been considering trough fillers, but actually the results have been amazing with sort of under the eye bags, which bodes well for me. So I just wanted to show you a few photographs. I don't want it to be too techie tonight. I want to kind of briefly explain what the technology is, but more importantly, what you can expect to see, you know, as a result. So this was actually from one radio frequency microneedling treatment and one HIFU treatment. And this is a perfect example of how the two technologies work really well together. And you can see just from one treatment of each, just how much that eye area has improved. But crucially, you do see an immediate lift and a tightening from the treatment. But of course, the collagenesis, the collagen building carries on for weeks and months afterwards, doesn't it, Hayley? And I mean, you've had HIFU as well, haven't you?
Yeah, so I guess for me, originally it was preventative, and that's what it's so good at. It's good at helping to prevent further laxity from occurring in the skin, and can reverse it, in fact, which is very rare. So actually reverse that laxity which is already there. It's not a guarantee because skin is skin, but if anything's going to do it, then HIFU is going to do it, and that's why we're such fans.
Yeah, exactly. And they're literally after there is only surgery. This is the best non-invasive, non-surgical treatment. And interestingly, I had a client who was considering having a BLEF treatment. So this is where it's a surgical treatment for the eyelids. And she was actually told that even though she has skin there that she doesn't like, the surgeon was like, actually, no, it's, you know, I wouldn't do surgery on you yet. So that kind of candidate is perfect to have a HIFU eye lifting treatment. And thank God we do have honest surgeons, so who do turn people away, because, you know, you don't want to go under the knife unnecessarily, especially when you have, you know, treatments like this available. So here's another really nice result as well. So when you first look at this photograph, you might not think, oh, there's such a, you know, a big difference, but actually when you zoom in, so if you look at sort of this line sort of here, and then how big the fold is around the corner of her mouth, that is really quite significant. And also just the quality and the texture of her skin has improved as well. So, so it's really good for around the mouth area, the jawline, and also necks. So this photo I love because it really gives me hope that when I really need a neck treatment, but I'm already going to be starting to preemptively treat the neck area, because it's much easier to keep that collagen ticking over, you know, than trying to reverse it. So obviously she had a reversal type treatment. She already had the crepiness there, and you can see just how amazing. And that was one treatment of each, one treatment of radio frequency microneedling and one treatment of HIFU. And the results are fantastic. It's also good for the body as well. So there is a body cartridge which we can use, and it's great for, you know, sort of, you know, after you've had a baby, for sort of tightening and firming the tummy area. It can be used on sort of various body parts. So just very quickly, so radio frequency microneedling, just to be clear, is inserting very, very fine little needles into the skin, and combining that with radio frequency, which creates heat. So when you are creating tiny little thermal pockets of damage, it kicks the body's repair mechanism into place. And the beauty of this machine, isn't it, Hayley, is that it has like this succume, a vacuum, which makes it much more comfortable and much more precise, because as soon as you apply this handpiece onto the skin, it literally sucks the skin up onto the needles, which also creates less downtime. So, you know, there's less sort of side effects by doing that. It's less traumatic to the
really
skin.
Confuses your pain receptors as well. So you would think that this is a very uncomfortable treatment, but it's really not. I just encourage everybody to come and if you're nervous and you're not sure, if you're seeing Kerry for any other treatment, just ask her to do a little patch test with it, because it's amazing how comfortable it actually is. The needles are ultra fine.
Yeah, really, really fine. And you're talking to a needle phobe. So, you know, so if I can have it, anyone can have it. So, yeah, so when we combine that with, so you can just do, you know, microneedling on its own, but to get the really huge, dramatic, rejuvenating effect, you know, the Judy Murray, you know, before and after, you really want to combine it with radio frequency. So I don't know how many of you saw that picture online of Judy Murray. It was absolutely fantastic, and that was 2 treatments, I believe, of radio frequency microneedling. So I'm not going to get too techie. This is just showing that basically we have different options of size sort of heads, so that we can actually get into sort of the awkward areas. So with the HIFU, now that's the second technology on the same machine. So it is high-intensity focused ultrasound, and basically it generates very high temperatures in the skin, but very targeted and specific, so that it doesn't create any sort of damage in terms of, you know, sort of the upper layers of the skin. It's getting that energy right down to where it needs to be, and stimulating those fibroblasts, contracting, you know, your collagen, in the dermis and stimulating that sort of regenerative process in the skin. So the SMAS layer is that layer right at the bottom, which is that sort of requires to be sort of lifted and contracted, which is what surgeons work with when they're doing a lower jaw lift. And that is how deep we can get with this machine if it's required. Not everyone needs that, because you still get a lot of contraction, don't you, in the dermis and the epidermis.
Mm-hmm.
Did they work? Do you know if you had yours, was it the SMAS layer that you had when you had treatment, or did you not need that?
Yes, yeah, absolutely, because that's certainly an area that I was concerned about in the future. So yeah, asked for that specifically.
So one of the reasons the focused jaw is so brilliant is because of this, and this is what this slide is showing, is it has something called a focus transducer. And without getting too techie, basically what it means for you, the client having the treatment, is that it is very targeted and therefore, comfortable, and doesn't create sort of trauma in areas where you don't want it to. And that's why it is, not an uncomfortable treatment. As I'm always very honest, I said to people, I definitely did. And I know one client's watching tonight, and she was having the treatment done, and she was saying to me, Kerry, did you actually find this a bit uncomfortable? And I was like, I am the person who was asking for an epidural, very early on. So I don't even have my ears pierced. So I'm not good with any kind of. And she's like, I can't believe you found this uncomfortable. It is literally a tiny bit of tingling, and that is it. And I was like, I know. I said, but to be fair, when I did have it done, it wasn't actually a clinician doing on me, was it, Hayley? So I think maybe the technique wasn't quite the same. I'm actually waiting to have a proper treatment now, because, as is always the case, when you're actually doing the treatments, you don't always have the time to do them yourself. So I can't wait for Carly to come in and do my lower jaw for me. So I'm going to skip through sort of a few of these slides, but basically we are working with 3 different cartridges or 2 different cartridges so that we can target all layers of the skin. Okay, so again, body treatments are also a possibility. And what's really interesting is when you get to temperatures of more than sort of 65 to 80 degrees, you are actually inducing sort of what we call fat cell death. So when we have these people have sort of a larger sort of double chin under here, we have a cartridge that will drastically reduce that. And not only will it reduce the sort of excess fat under here, but it really defines the jawline. So suddenly you'll see your jawline appear. It is there. It's just we need to be able to reveal it for you. So I'm going to skip through a few of these because I think some of you might have some sort of questions, and I want to be able to get to those at the end as well. So basically this treatment is for lifting, firming, tightening, and it is the only treatment available bar having surgery, which is really going to contract that collagen, give that lift, treat the eye area, treat the dark circles under the eyes if you've been considering having fillers in that area. Honestly, try Radio Frequency Microneedling. The results are fantastic. It's amazing for lifting around the eye as well. And it just drastically improves your overall collagen and a whole sort of feel and look of the skin and the texture as well. So it defines shapes and sculpts really. So before I go, I've got some really good offers on this evening. But before I go on to those, I just wanted to show you as well, because a few of you have been asking me, oh, well, will it do veins or will it do, sort of sunspots? So no, that is actually a laser facial. That is something completely different to HIFU. HIFU and RF microneedling are really about your collagen, your jawline, your eye lift and eye bags. But when we're trying to even out the skin tone with things like, broken vessels or, sunspots, etc., and to a certain degree, some collagen as well, that would be a laser facial. But what it's not going to do is lift and tighten in that respect. So the next picture I want to show you is actually a before and after of a laser facial. Now, this lady did not have any HIFU or RF microneedling. She was simply working on evening out her skin tone. And the results are fantastic. The Illumifacial is one of the most popular treatments I do in clinic. And you can see why. Now, the reason I'm showing this picture is because when I come on to the special offers tonight, for any of you considering the platinum package, I'm going to be offering a free Illumifacial. Now, Illumifacials are £250 normally, but you would get that included in your platinum package if you are a Laser Skin Solutions client. So it is a special offer for VIP clients. So straight onto the packages. So the special offers at the moment, what I really would like to do is in 2022 is, if you really want to get to grips with, you know, skin rejuvenation, and you want your skin to look the best possible version that it can be, you know, I would like to be able to throw everything at it. I'd like to do HIFU on you. I'd like to do radio frequency microneedling. I'd like to do an Illumifacial, so that in a few months' time, you will have that flawless complexion, that sort of complexion that everyone asks me that, you know, they don't want that sort of filter on their Instagram. It will be lifted, it'll be tightened, you know, the eye bags will be reduced, you'll get an eye lift. So for all of that, I've put together a platinum package. So there is a summary at the end showing what this would normally cost, but the discounted package would be 2,800. And basically tonight, like with all the packages, you pay a deposit and then you'd pay 4 payments divided over the rest. So for this one, for example, if we were going to go all out and say, you know, just purely on how to get the best possible results, I'd be doing a prep on your skin with a peel, some LED Dermalux lights, and then the second week we'd be going straight in with radio frequency microneedling. So at that session, we'd be doing the radio frequency microneedling on the face and the neck. So I'm going to be doing your face and neck as well for this price as well, and getting under the lights. And then 4 weeks later, you'd be coming in for your first HIFU. So already we're going to have been, so the Judy Murray had radio frequency microneedling. Okay, so you can see what kind of results you can expect from that. Then you're going to be coming in, we're going to be lifting and tightening the jawline. And then a few weeks later, you'll be coming back in for another radio frequency microneedling. So with this platinum package, so this is obviously the all singing, all dancing. You're also going to get 3 really great products as well, skin products, because what you do at home twice a day is paramount as well to any kind of skin rejuvenation program. But included in this package, you're also going to get that Illumifacial, that photo that I showed you just now, for evening out the skin tone. Because we don't want to lift and tighten and firm if you've also got lots of sort of broken vessels and pigment. We want to even out that skin tone. You'll also get, I don't know if many of you have heard of Dermalux, but there is an LED, a very powerful flex machine, which I rent out on a 2-weekly basis, and you will get that included as well. So the 2-week rental is normally 300, the Illumifacial is 250. So with this platinum package, you're getting 20% off, and in addition, you're getting £550 worth of treatment. That is if you're able to pay. So you get the bonus treatments, the additional free Illumi and the Dermalux, if you actually pay for it all in one go. But if you want to do the treatment plan, of course, you're welcome to do that. So that's the platinum package. That's for 2 HIFUs, 2 radio frequency microneedlings, a peel and Dermalux lights at each treatment as well, plus your 3 products. All right. So the gold package is very similar. You're getting 15% off this one instead of 20. With this one, you're getting 2 radio frequency microneedlings and Dermalux and 1 HIFU. So the difference between this and the platinum is that you're not getting 2 HIFUs. All right, you're still getting your products, and you will also get, if you pay in full, a 2-week rental of the Dermalux Flex worth 300. Okay, with the silver package, you're getting 10% off, and you're getting 1 HIFU, 1 RF microneedling, and our peel and Dermalux, and of course your products as well. With this one, if you pay in full, you also get 1 week rental of the Dermalux Flex to take home with you. So that's the machine with the LED lights that you can use at home every single day. And then the bronze package is basically 1 treatment of RF microneedling with a prep and peel, and you also get products with that as well. So there is an eye lift as well. A few of you have been asking about an eye lift. You know, I mean, personally, I would obviously have the full face done, because you get the eye lift. You would, with a full face and neck, with these offers, you would get an eye lift as well. But if you just want to do eye lift, if you don't want to lift your jaw, or you don't want to improve collagen anywhere else, I don't know if you'd want, who would want to do that unless you've had a HIFU already, as I know a couple of you have. But the package for that is £909, and you get 2 HIFU treatments and RF microneedling all around the eye areas. So not only are we lifting, but we're dealing with the bags underneath as well, to save you having to have trough fillers. Not that I'm necessarily saying you would consider having those, but it really is an instead of treatment for that. It's absolutely fantastic. So this is just a little summary, so you can see, because I know obviously it's difficult memorizing things. So this is a summary slide just showing what you can get. Okay, we had a few tech issues before going live, so I've just realized I've missed off the bronze down below, but the bronze, your and the silver. so not a very good summary slide at all. So but if any of you want me to send you a summary slide, I can do that. But basically you're getting 20, 15 and 10% off. So 10% is the silver, bronze is 5% off. Okay, with the as you can see, normally if you were to pay for this individually without this VIP launch, the platinum package would actually come to just under £3,500. So the on the night offer is 2,800. And with that, if you were to pay for that package this evening, you get an Illumifacial worth 250, 2 weeks of flex rental worth 300. So you get £550 worth of free treatment. Okay. So the gold is normally 2,689, with a discounted price with 15% off, it's 2,285, and with that you get 2 weeks of flex rental. The silver, which is not on here, is 10% off, and the bonus extras, you just get 1 week of flex rental. And then the bronze, there's no additional bits for that. So if you want to go ahead this evening and take advantage of these on the night only offers, then you would need to either pop a message in the chat so that you can, I know how to call you, to call you. And obviously for Laser Skin Solutions customers, I have your numbers, but just put your names in the chat that you'd like to be contacted. But if I don't have your numbers, then that is my mobile number to call. So I'm going to be around here for the next couple of hours with the card machine. But in the meantime, do any of you have any questions that you would like to ask?
So we've got a couple of good questions so far, Kerry, if you want to take some of these. So let me come in here. Downtime. Can you just recap on the downtime on each of the sort of technologies?
So with HIFU, that there isn't really any downtime, is there?
No.
Hayley? I mean, your skin might be a little bit pink, but really that is it. And
your worst case scenario is like a tiny bit of swelling, but it would be difficult to notice that. Yeah,
absolutely. And it's the kind of thing I think you would notice rather than other people saying, oh, wow, why are you swollen? It's not that kind of a swelling. And I think because I do so much laser skin resurfacing where the downtime is quite significant, with laser skin resurfacing, you're very red for 5 days, it crusts and it feels off. And with HIFU, you just don't get that. I mean, it is almost like a lunchtime treatment, isn't it?
Yeah, it is certainly. Yeah.
So
for the RF microneedling?
RF microneedling is slightly different. It does depend what depth of needle we go to. So, and also with how much radio frequency microneedling we are applying, so how much radio frequency we're applying to the needles. So with that, I would expect you to be quite pink, but it does subside quite quickly. So, I mean, how long did yours take, Hayley?
Probably only 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah. It's really minimal, and that is the beauty of
the worst I've seen is probably sort of 4 or 5 days post-treatment are you can sort of see the individual pinpricks, but only if you're really looking very close at the skin, and quite easily covered by makeup, and nobody else would necessarily see it. So
yeah,
the way I'd describe it really is no social downtime. It's definitely not going to be bad enough that you wouldn't be able to go to work or do the school run or anything like that. So there's no social downtime with it. It's fabulous.
No, it's not like, as I say, laser skin resurfacing, where I literally have to time the treatments, and we do it late on a Friday, so they have to, it's not like that at all. Worst case scenario with radio frequency microneedling, you might be a bit pink, but it goes down, really quickly. So,
can you treat knees?
Knees.
I assume that's for laxity or fat loss.
Yeah,
I think that's what it's for. So.
Yeah, so with the body cartridge, we can definitely treat above the knee. So we wouldn't treat right over the knee cap with the HIFU. But radio frequency microneedling, yeah, we could treat over the knees. And funnily enough, I'm planning to treat over my kneecap. So it depends, maybe just without the RF, depending on sort of how it's tolerated. If some people have very thin skin over the knees, it would have to be on an individual assessment. But if you've got a lot of volume around your knee area, then yeah, sure.
Can you have these treatments if you've previously had an injectable filler?
So yes, it depends on the filler as well, because I don't often come across these sort of permanent fillers anymore. I don't know about
no.
So
they're quite rare now.
Yeah. So if it's things like Restylane, so basically hyaluronic acid, then yeah, we can treat
Juvederm's fine.
Yeah, exactly. But we would leave a bit of time between you having your fillers and having something like HIFU.
Yeah. Is there a cutoff age for treatment? Because Emily's mum is 64 and she would be interested, but she would want to know whether it would be worthwhile. Is it worthwhile for somebody who is over 60?
Well, so I think, as you know, Hayley, initially we were all a bit sort of cautious, weren't we, about treating over 60s? But yes, we know that, people have been getting great results, actually. And it's almost like the more rejuvenation there is to be had, the more difference you can almost see as well. So, for example, one of my oldest friends of my mum's, who is 73 now, and she actually came in and had a treatment week before, when Carly was being trained, and I cannot wait. And she literally phoned me the next day. She was like, "Oh my word!" She says, "I can see it. I can see it already." And I was like, great, you wait until the next few months, so it's going to look even better. So I'm really excited, because obviously she's happy for me to share her photos, and she is the oldest person I've treated so far, and she was a smoker. She hasn't smoked for 20 years, but she smoked all her life, and she had really sort of lack of collagen and really obvious lines all over the cheeks. And so so I am going
we've treated someone in their 80s, like over 80. I would say she looked fresher, but it wasn't dramatic. So it's going to be a bit slower. It's going to be a bit trickier, as you get older, because it does depend on your own immune system kind of healing itself. But I just think it's one of those where you give it a go. If you're in your 80s and you want to see some rejuvenation, then you've just got to try it with some of these things. And Kerry's good enough to know when to stop and say, actually, I don't think it is working for you. I would say give it a try, but be cautious. But yeah, my mum was my mum was 67, and she said to me that she can't see her face as much when she looks down. So
why? Because because of the volume.
Yeah, because it's all just that little bit sort of tighter. She said to me, it's almost as though I just can't. There's not as much stuff there to look at.
That's so funny. Oh, bless her. But yeah, I would definitely give it a go. So.
And another question, this is a good one. Is the microneedling RF device the same as the Morpheus 8? Because someone has been looking at that previously.
So it's not the Morpheus 8. So Morpheus 8 is just a brand name. So basically it's a bit like, I don't know, Hoover and Dyson, they're vacuum cleaners. The thing that's most important is the technology, okay? It's the technology and how it's delivered into the skin. So I don't know loads about the Morpheus 8. I just knew I was going to get the Focus Dual. And I think the thing I love about this machine as well is that, so the treatment that Judy Murray had, which is radio frequency microneedling, with this machine, the needles are so fine. And with the vacuum and the suction, it makes it for much more sort of less downtime, if that's what you're worried about, and more comfortable, and more targeted, you know, and because of the suction, you get, you know, one of my clients was really expecting to have lots of blood. You know, she'd had some of derma rollering before and stuff like that, and you hardly even get any spotting with this one. So yeah, so I think it's great that people have heard of Morpheus 8 because it's getting the HIFU technology, you know, out there. But it's not about the brand name; it's about the technology. So yeah, have you got anything to?
The only thing I would say, and I'm not sure how familiar people are with this, is, but I know the doctor that treated Judy Murray, and I know the protocol that was actually followed, and it was a combination of radio frequency microneedling, skin peels, and IPL. So I think a lot of people saw that picture and whatever article it was picked up in, the Morpheus 8 was kind of associated with it. Yeah. But she actually had, when you look at her skin, one of the biggest differences is that all of her pigmentation has gone.
Yeah.
So her skin just looks so much clearer and whiter and fresher and tighter, actually because of the IPL.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know what IPL is, that is basically what the illumifacial is. So that photograph I showed you of that amazing before and after of even skin tone, you know, no pigment, etc. The veins have gone. That is the facial that I'm throwing into the platinum package tonight as well, because I don't want people to get that lifting, tightening, amazing look, but still have uneven
discoloration. Yeah. So the platinum package you put together, Kerry, it is amazing. It is a great price. It is really good.
It is. I want people to leave and be like, wow, you know, this was absolutely, it has literally addressed every single concern in my skin, you know, any veins I've got, any sunspots, it's lifted, it's tightened, my eyes, you know, I've got an eye lift, I've got no eye bags, my jaw looks good, my neck looks amazing. So that, you know, so I think, I don't know, I'm a bit of an all or nothing person. So I think I would just like throw myself at something, do it. I'm doing something called the 6-pack revolution at the moment, which is a 12-week exercise plan. Because I just thought, you know what, I'm going to be 49 this year. I've kind of dibble-dabbled with exercise, this and that. I'm going to absolutely go for it. And I think, and that's why I love this Focus Dual, because you can do as little or as much as you want. But if you really want to go for it and really see that difference in your skin, you don't want to have surgery, you want to lift and tighten, then this is definitely the one for you.
So good question here. Can you have the treatment with the laser treatment that one of your clients is already having, or do they need to wait until they finish the vascular treatment before they have a Focus Dual treatment?
So I'm not sure which client is talking about this. It depends how much vascularity you have. I think because of this time of the year, I'd want to get the vascular treatments in before the sun comes out, because the other beauty with this treatment is it does not matter if you have this when you're tanned or in the summer.
It's however, Jade Hadland.
Jade. So yeah, I think because we need to leave sort of 4 weeks between sessions, if you don't have, you know, a lot of vascularity, you could intersperse it. But as we are approaching the summer, I would do your IPLs, like, so with the platinum package, I would be aiming to do the illumifacial first, and then go into that sort of treatment regime. But you know, you can buy the package, it stays on account, and we will literally, as soon as you've bought it, we get you booked in and we literally get cracking, and you'll have a treatment plan tailored specifically to you and your skin concerns and the time of year.
And we have another question from somebody who's asking about sun exposure and how long they have to wait after sun exposure to have the HIFU and the microneedling, which I hope for one lucky person means you're actually getting to go on holiday and get some sunshine soon.
So So this treatment, it does not matter if you're tanned with this treatment, but the reason we say to leave 2 weeks between being in the sun and having a HIFU is because obviously the sun, it you know, is not great for your skin. And if you are even slightly not sunburnt, but sun stressed, we'd want that skin to calm down before we apply something like HIFU. So 2 weeks post, obviously, if you were really sunburnt on a holiday, I'd be waiting, you know, until the skin's completely recovered. But if you had normal sun exposure, you got a little bit of color, I would bring you in sort of 2 weeks later.
And this is a great question that everybody wants to know. How long are the results going to last?
So don't take up running, okay? Don't let me tighten your jawline and then take up running marathons, because obviously it won't last as long. So this treatment is actually called the runner's lift. So, you know, the aim is to have, so really with HIFU, you will probably need 1 to 2 HIFUs. If you have a lot of skin laxity and a lot of sort of excess fat under here, you know, you might need 3, but really it's 1 to 2 treatments. And once you have that, I would expect you not to really need, bar taking up marathon running, another treatment for at least a year to 18 months. But it really depends on your lifestyle. You know, if you like going in the sun all the time, you know, if you drink lots of alcohol, if you know, smoke or anything like that, then it's obviously not going to last as long. So it's about getting your skin to how you want it and keeping it like that. But I would say at least a good 18 months, I would say. For most people, it'll be about 18 months, maybe longer.
It's such a difficult question to answer, because what Kerry does within this treatment is create a wound, essentially, and you naturally heal that wound. So she creates a little bit of controlled trauma, and the body repairs that by producing new collagen, new elastin, new components of the SMAS layer. It's tighter, it's firmer, and you've literally rebuilt collagen fibers. So it's asking, well, how long does it take for that fiber to deteriorate back to how it was pre-treatment? It could be a decade. It really just depends entirely on the lifestyle. So the one thing I always say to people is, let's imagine you do a platinum package, and if there was any way we could, you know, take a photograph of you in a decade's time, having had a platinum package and having not had a platinum package, you will look significantly different. You know, it's as simple as that, isn't it?
Yeah, and also because I absolutely believe that in 10 years' time, Judy Murray is still going to look great for having had this treatment now. Yes. You know, so and in 18 months' time, her face is not going to go back to what it was before she had the treatment. So how long does it last? Yes, you might need a top up to keep it going, but it's not going to, her skin's not going to go, unless she goes out in the sun and takes all loads of running, or, you know, but it's not going to go back to what it was, I don't think. So,
you will want more before the results have worn off. That's the problem. Get addicted.
Yeah, exactly. So any other questions?
I don't think so.
No. Lovely. So if you would like to take advantage of any of the offers, please put your name in the chat. You can put it just to us. Not everyone else has to see. I think you can do it, can't you, Hayley, just to the panelists. And
I direct message to myself or Kerry in the chat, or drop your name in there and we'll find you and contact you.
Yeah. So I'm going to be here. A lot of you have my mobile anyway. So I'm going to be here for another a couple of hours, but more like sort of an hour and a half. So yeah, feel free to drop me a message. I can call you back and then we can get you booked in.
Thank you, Kerry.
All right. So thank you very much for joining, everyone. Thank you so much, Hayley, as well. And I look forward to tightening all of your jawlines this year.
Thank you.
All right.